Hey guys, welcome to the Save Continue podcast, where every week we get together and record and talk about video games and video game related stuff.
We do that.
I
Yeah.
I'm Shanae Howard. This is Tommy Shelby,
Hello.
and then Ryan the Rat Robinson. uh, and then just so you guys know, we do have an affiliate link down below for Jason's Customs. He makes custom fight sticks, controllers, other custom stuff. Just ask them what they.
Sam
also like
Ducks
to
up buttons.
we also like to show off our toys here for our video listeners.
This is my friend.
Apparently, this quarantine's just really getting to us.
Yeah, this is my friend.
But yeah, so how have you guys been this week?
Not bad. Not too bad. Playing a lot of games, working a lot.
What you been playing?
A bunch of old ass games. So I played this game called Makin X, which is an old Atlas game on the Dreamcast that I had never heard of.
Is that first-person sword fighting game?
Yeah. It's this weird first-person sword fighting game, but it's Dreamcast only's got one analog stick, but it works super well and it's a lot of fun. And what else? Vampire Chronicles for matching service, and Rival Schools. Well, Project Justice. Yeah, that's about it, really. Ryan and I have been playing a decent bit of Street Fighter V.
My wrist hurts.
But yeah, that's about it.
What about you, Ryan? What have you been up to? What have you been playing?
Well, I'm the
Well?
Joker, baby. So I've been playing a lot of Street Fighter with Thomas, and also playing a lot of it without Thomas.
Sure.
You see that stick right there? I've been using that. Can you see it? Okay. That's why my wrist hurts.
I can't read
no,
what it
you
says.
can't even see it.
Yeah, it's too bright.
What's that
it's
say,
all
Tommy?
botched. It's too late.
What's that say?
Well, I've got many of them, but it's too late. It'll have to be next time when I adjust the lighting in here.
Okay.
Okay.
But also still playing the Animal Crossing and Doom, and that's a good time.
Doom?
Yeah, Doom.
Like you?
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Doom Eternal.
Doom,
Well,
right?
not a lot, but a decent amount. Most of my video gaming has been Diablo 3 with Kaylee.
Oh, nice.
It's been a lot of fun. We made
Yeah.
seasonal characters.
You mean what?
Seasonal characters. It's
What are
currently
those?
it's currently season 20, which I didn't actually. I guess I didn't really know that much about season stuff until fairly recently, but yeah, it's been pretty cool. It's been cool getting back into that game, but that's really about it. I haven't really been playing much else. I don't know that I'll be playing much else much longer, because I think my wrist is broken because Tom broke it last night. He whooped me, so
I'm just pounding you so hard.
yeah, he pounded me real hard. So I'm out of commission for a little bit.
I mean, you don't need your wrist to play Animal Crossing.
No, I suppose I don't, but I'd like it back because I mean, what else am I gonna do, you know? But yeah, I've been looking at some, because we have a bunch of these games by the computer here that I've been most of the games on that shelf are games that I started and never finished, because I usually got distracted. So I've been thinking about working my way through that list, or through the shelf rather.
Is it mainly the stuff we talked about, like in your backlog episode?
Well, no, because there's some other stuff that that Kaylee brought with her too, like this Dissidia here, and
Nice.
and Tearaway. I never finished Tearaway, but that's the bad way to play it apparently. So
It really is.
so I've maybe I'll try to get my hands on a copy of the Vita version and play it that way. So
Yeah. Uh,
That's
surprise,
why.
surprise. I've just been playing a lot of Animal Crossing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I moved apartments on Tuesday, and if anyone's and whoever's listening, hey, don't move in the middle of a pandemic if you can stop it. It's kind of bullshit. Uh,
You
but
literally moved to an apartment in the same complex.
yeah, but now I'm third story, and like some of the heavier stuff that's like super awkward, we ended up having to like call my brother-in-law to come help us because like other people offered, but like they know someone who's immunocompromised or they have like other family or like they go out and do stuff. I'm just like, let's not get people sick.
I mean, for me, whenever I can't move something, I've
But
just burned it. You just burn it, then you don't gotta deal with it.
I'm also living in the same complex, so if I burn it in the apartment, like they know where I live.
Sure, that is true.
But yeah, when I can, I've been playing Animal Crossing. Really, uh, I haven't really played. What are you doing? But I haven't really gotten to play with anybody else.
Oh man, I'll open up my island. You can come hang out with me. Just don't fuck anything up. It's very carefully curated.
Is it really?
No,
No.
it's not.
So I've been trying to see, so I've been like getting really shitty islands lately on my with my Animal Crossing, and apparently there's like an old Animal Crossing like trick, or if you feng shui your apartment, that apparently it helps your RNG, which I don't know how true that is, but I will say after I did it, I am getting better islands on my Mystery Island tours. So maybe there is something to it.
Yeah. Well.
Uh, so I've just been doing that, just rearranging my island and feng shuiing my virtual apartment.
Right on.
Tiger.
Hi.
Hi.
Tiger.
This is a cyber demon. So.
Where's Cacodemon? I miss him.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that old boy. He's over here eating some change.
That is what he eats.
It's been so long since we've seen him.
Yeah.
But since you said you've been wanting to play some games that you never finished, that does bring us to one of our topics for the night, which is games that you've never finished.
Uh-oh.
So what I was thinking specifically about was not games that I didn't finish because I got distracted by other games, but games that I really liked and I was really into, but I hit like kind of a brick wall because it was too hard for me, and I just stopped. And it reminded me a lot. It reminded me of the fact that I never finished Darkest Dungeon, and I love that game a lot. But at a certain point, the difficulty spikes so dramatically that I felt like I was like, I felt like I hit a wall and I kind of just gave up. But it sucks because that game, like up until that point, I was having so much fun with that game. And then I got to a guy, I don't remember what the boss was, but I got to a certain boss and I just couldn't beat him and I just got stuck. And it sucks because I want to see, because I want to play Darkest Dungeon 2 when that comes out, but I don't know if I'll have needed to finish Darkest Dungeon 1. And I know that I could just YouTube
Say
it.
probably not.
But you said probably not?
Yeah, I would assume no, just because I don't know. With that kind of game, it just seems like you don't really need to play the second one.
Agreed.
Yeah, I don't know. It just sucks because, and then then that also makes me feel like if Darkest Dungeon did that to me, then what are the chances that Darkest Dungeon 2 will do that to me too?
I don't know. There's a lot of games that have like a big change, and like as far as like especially like scaling when it comes to leveling with like different characters and stuff. But also, I do feel like there was like a really weird like difficulty change in there. But that's mainly whenever they started making a lot of other changes, and I was still playing on like the first way I played it, on like the first build that came out. I do feel like there was like some clunkiness with like how long it was out for free without it being done.
Yeah. Well, by the time I got around to playing it, was like way after you had played it, I think. And because I was
Did you
playing.
say out for free?
Because I remember playing it for free for a little while and then paying like the $30
Hmm.
when it was in like alpha or beta.
I
And
see.
I remember, like I said, I definitely remember playing it before paying for it. And I was like,
Yeah.
I know it's not finished yet, but I'm gonna pay this money. Like I
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
keep playing it.
I really do think it's a fantastic game, but once I hit that point, like I just like I'm never gonna get any further, and I kind of just felt like I had to make the decision to give up on it, which it really sucks because I was really enjoying it up to that point.
Yeah, I feel like like the big one, the most recent one for me is definitely like God of War. When I was just like, I can't keep going. Like all these things, I need this other thing to be done to like get past it, and I can't get any of this done. So
I
I'm
thought
done.
you finished it.
I finished the main story, but like all the Valkyries,
Oh.
all the trials, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
that mist level, I was like, fuck it. Like I'm just dying. Like I'm just dying over and over again. Like I'm just like
Yeah.
and I can't get better at this thing until I get this armor piece, and I can't get this armor piece until I finish this, which I can't finish.
Yeah, but and yeah, well, I remember the I did one Valkyrie, and it took me about 2 hours, just like over like doing it over and over and over again, and then I think like then and there I was like I'm not doing any more of these, like that was enough, but
Is that difficult, huh?
uh,
I
twas for
Yeah,
me.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I haven't played the game other than the little bit I played at your apartment, right?
Well, and
I think
apparently like
there's
that's supposed to be like the most difficult aspect of the game is killing those things.
Sure.
So
Yeah, the timing you have to be like really like unlike with a lot of the other enemies in God of War, where like even on like different difficulties, there's like some forgiveness, and as far as
Yeah.
like the moves or your hitbox. With Valkyries, you have to get the timing right and know what like counters each one. So it is one of those that like you have to keep playing over and over again to get a feel for,
Yeah.
to like, because some of the stuff that they do, like there's just a slight change to like notify you on what you should do to like counteract it, which
Well,
is super annoying because like also, so there's like I think there's 7 of them and I got through like 4 or 5, and then like the last Valkyrie is like all of the other Valkyrie powers combined into the one thing, and I was like, fuck it, like I'm definitely not gonna beat that one.
yeah.
Like I already struggled with the other ones as it was, and then the mist thing, I couldn't figure out where to go, so I just kept doing battles over and over
what
again,
is
and I
the
was running out of
mist
time.
thing? I don't think I'm familiar with that.
So I think it's like I think it is like alluding to like Nephilim and or something like that. And then so like you're in a mist and it poisons you, but you can get stuff to like resist the poison and like make it
Oh
lower.
yeah,
And you would
I
have to
remember
go
that.
to these like areas, and then there would be like enemies, and I kept getting thrown back into the mist, and I'm just like, fuck this. Like
Yeah,
I just like I'm done. Like I'm done. I'm like, or I would get to where I needed to like gather materials, and then you would have to come back, store them, and then go back into it, but it would all rearrange
Yeah.
every time. And I would like get the things, and like on the way back I'd be like so close and then just die again. I'm like, fuck it, like I'm not gathering anything, and it's been 16 billion hours.
yeah. Uh, I don't know. Were you playing on? Because I know that none of the trophies are tied to difficulty, and I had considered going like I had considered like if I were gonna platinum that game, I would just turn the difficulty way down and baby mode my way through it.
Oh, I think
Sinead's accustomed to that.
no, just when it comes to Donkey Kong,
Yeah.
because I'm bad at platforming and I want it to be where even if I fall I don't lose.
Yeah.
And but I think I played normal difficulty. I don't think I played like harder, like the harder modes.
Yeah.
I think I just played like normal. I didn't play but I didn't baby it. I didn't funky mode it.
Sure. Let me move this cursor.
Thomas.
Um.
But yeah, no, that for sure I gave up on is like the most recent one. I was trying to think of, because I know that there's been other games that I'm just like, fuck it. It's gonna be it's a lot of side scrollers. I know I've done that with Mega Man, and it's why I never got into it.
Yeah.
So I just never I never figured it out.
Well, Mega Man has some like relatively difficult platforming.
Yeah, I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm done. I'm done. Also, like I'd be very selective about the games I could ask for. So,
Yeah.
uh,
I hadn't ever beaten a Mega Man boss until my 30s when Tom showed me how to do it. Um, but like I remember so there was a Mega Man collection that came out in the mid 2000s. Um,
Anniversary collection.
yeah, there you go. And I bought it because I was like, well, I didn't play Mega Man so much as a kid, so let me try this out. And I didn't get anywhere with any of those Mega Mans, so I just never touched it again. Uh,
I do often feel like a lot of those 8-bit games are like a time and place thing, right? Like if you grew up playing those games, you're probably still pretty good at them.
yeah,
But like it's hard to just go back to those considering how much easier games have gotten.
sure.
yeah.
You know, and like, I don't know, I think that a lot of the mindset I've had with video games that I couldn't beat as a kid was like, now that I'm a grown up, I can definitely beat that game. But I guess that never happened to me with Mega
No.
Man. So as a grown up, I still couldn't beat Mega Man.
Well, you know, with things like Mega Man and like harder games like Ninja Gaiden, I feel like I was better at Ninja Gaiden as a kid than I
Yeah.
am now, you know? But I think that's also a little, I don't think that has as much to do with age as it does with like when I was a kid, I'd play that game for fucking 12 hours at a time,
Yeah,
you know? Of course I was going to get good at it.
yeah,
Whereas like now I just don't have the time to do that. But,
yeah.
you know.
Uh, what about you, Tom? Has any game been too hard? It's the only game I can think of that
Yeah.
you talk about giving up is that helicopter game where you could, or plane game where
Oh,
you could.
Infiltrator? Yeah. I mean, that was when I was a kid, right? Like, I haven't tried to go back to it. And like, now I could just Google how do these controls work. But, yeah, there's a couple. I think Spelunky is definitely one of those. But like, it's not like I gave up on Spelunky, you know? I still go back to it. I still play it somewhat regularly, but I've never beaten it, you know?
Yeah.
And I would very much like to. I bought and read an entire book about Spelunky. I'd like to be able to beat it,
Yeah.
but that's a hard game, you know.
Do you know how close you've gotten to beating it?
So there's either 4 or 5 sections, and I can get to like the third before
Yeah.
I die, you know. So not very
Well,
close. I mean, the thing is, like with
I've
Spelunky,
never
once
played
you
it.
beat, yeah, it's a
So,
platformer, like an action platformer, but it's a roguelike, an actual roguelike, not a roguelite, you know.
so the rooms are like procedural generated.
The rooms are procedurally randomly generated, and like
Oh,
you die and you start over, and there's no progression. You start over, you know.
yeah.
So it's a bitch, but like I guess there is progression in that like if you beat an area, you can start from that area. But I don't consider that to have beaten the game. You know, I think you have to start from the beginning.
Yeah.
So I don't do that, and I think that's why I have yet to beat it. But you know, I still like it. It's a lot of fun. I also like. I don't know how you really put fighting games into this category, but like Guilty Gear, I feel like I have not completed. You know,
Sure.
like I feel like I've completed Street Fighter because I know how all those mechanics work and I understand them, and like there are certain like that game's got like 3 different Roman cancels and shit like that. Like
Yeah.
just understanding Guilty Gear completely, and I do feel like I've kind of given up on that at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably it. I think most games, if I am having fun,
You just keep
I'll
playing
just
it.
yeah, I'll just hunker down until I'm fucking done. You know, like
Yeah.
even like Doom, right? Doom 2016, I only recently beat. I own that game on 3
Yeah.
different platforms. But like I beat it because I liked it. You know, it might have taken me a while. I play a lot of games at once, but eventually I'll get around to it if I really want to. So
You mentioned Ninja Gaiden a little while ago, and I never got into like the old Ninja Gaiden games, but like, um,
you
the
got the reboot.
yeah, I got so there specifically there so there was a Ninja Gaiden 2 that came out on 360 that
Yeah, I
I
love that one.
yeah, I like that game a lot, but that game is so fucking hard. and you know, and like at a certain point, like because you have to manage your resources really well, or at a certain point, like you kind of fuck yourself out of being able to finish the game. Um, and but I like that game. I think that the combat is really good. I think that the levels are really well designed. But I don't think that I ever had like the reflexes or the mind to be able to beat it. And
Yeah.
as much as I like that game, as good of a game I believe it to be, like I just at a certain point I just stopped playing it because I didn't feel like I was ever gonna get any further in it.
I think that series definitely has a higher skill ceiling and skill floor, honestly, than like Devil May Cry does. You know, but
Yeah.
yeah, those are great. You know, the last gen version, the one that came out for 360, PS3, and Wii. There's like, okay, so there's Ninja Gaiden. Then
And
there
there's
was
Ninja Gaiden. There's Ninja Gaiden 2, Ninja Gaiden Sigma, and then there was a different Ninja Gaiden that was on the Wii.
right.
the
Well,
rest
like
of them.
Black is just like a redo of the first one for like the original Xbox. But like, there's one that came out on like the PS3, I believe, and the Wii U. And what's interesting is like the PS3 and 360 versions are censored, and the Wii U version is the only version that's not censored.
What are we missing?
Weird.
Yeah.
What are we talking here?
Just like way
Probably
more,
boobs.
just way more gore.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like the Wii U version of all of them is the goriest.
Wow, I didn't think that game
Yeah.
could get more violent, but
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I played 2, and it was one of the few games I had like at a certain point in my life. So I just played the fuck out of it for the 360, and I did end up beating it. But it was a lot of like looking shit up online, where I was just like, "Fuck, how do you even do this?"
yeah.
Ryan and I, we had a friend, Devin Frost, who I played quite a bit of the first game in that reboot series with. And yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah. So I know there's like, honestly, like Halo games. Like I was always like one of the worst out of my friends. Like I always enjoyed playing it. I like doing LAN parties, and I felt like I wasn't like completely inept. Like I would not like have a good KDR, but I also wasn't in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never
or-
beat a Halo game, but I've never really wanted to, you know?
Yeah, but like playing, like I remember, I want to say it had to be like, not Halo Wars, obviously because that's a strategy one, but whatever.
Halo Reach.
Reach
I
is
think
good.
it was Halo. I think it was Reach that I was just like, I don't. At this point, like I played Halo 2 and 3 at LAN parties. I tried to play like Reach and go back to shooters, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't have the reflexes for this. Like I don't have the not motion sickness to like play these anymore. Like same with Call of Duty. Like
Call of
like,
Duty's definitely faster than Halo. But
Yeah.
oh, for sure. But any of that, I'm just like, fuck. I don't have like, I don't have the eye or reflexes for any of this. Like I'm never like I get why they're fun for other people, but that's never gonna be me.
I think with traditional first-person shooters like that, like I always want when I was playing games like that that have a campaign as well as a multiplayer aspect, I want to enjoy both. And while I think Halo definitely moved console multiplayer shooting forward, I think it was many steps back in the single player aspect.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on the Call of Duty game, you can also argue similar statement about
Yeah,
that.
right. But I mean, Halo. I don't know if Halo hit first. I believe it did.
Yeah.
But it definitely had a bigger impact before Call of Duty did. And
For sure.
like, you know, I think GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, which a lot of those same guys went on to Halo, had a much better single player than Halo does. You know, like just being able to like difficulty not just changing numbers but changing what it is you do.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
games don't do that often these days, and it's like, why? It seems
In
very
fact, I
lazy.
can't remember the last time a game did that.
Right.
Um,
Don't get me wrong, I totally I 100% agree that multiplayer in Halo is probably better than GoldenEye.
Yeah.
I loved GoldenEye multiplayer, but I think that a lot of that's nostalgia,
Yeah.
I also hear about I also don't hear about the multiplayer on GoldenEye and Perfect Zero like as much as I
I
do.
think it's
Obviously,
just because you're a little bit younger. People
yeah,
remember those pretty fondly. Like if you say like the facility to somebody our age, they know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
If you say proximity mines to a gamer our age, they know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah. I mean, fair enough. A lot of my friends, like Brian Powell, are so much younger than you. So
I think GoldenEye, that's something that definitely like a few years can like definitely make a difference with.
Because when we're playing that, Powell's in elementary school. You know. So
yeah. Now, so because I'm trying to think of who I know talks about it the most, and it's definitely Powell.
Yeah.
So if you are playing it later, the online isn't really there. So yeah, of course you're not going to talk about it or play.
There is no online.
For those
there was no online for that.
For those of you who are listening,
there was that.
Brian Powell is a guy that we all know. That's who we're referencing.
Local multiplayer only, Shanae.
Yeah.
There were no multiplayer console shooters at that point.
And screen peeks were allowed.
Yeah.
Screen peeks.
Yeah. Cheese and crackers. You know what I meant.
Yeah.
But so there was one more that I wanted to bring up. So there was a game that I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you guys know, I like the Souls games a lot. And
no.
You?
Yeah.
And I just realized how silly it sounded, me making that noise out of context on this side, because Kaylee can't hear what you guys are saying, so she just hears me making noises. But no, so there's a game that came out, a few years ago called The Surge.
Yeah, I know that game.
And it was basically a science fiction Souls-like that on paper sounded really cool, and is actually a really cool game as far as conceptually, and a lot of the tone of the game is really awesome. But I was never able to really penetrate the later aspects of that game, because I just the enemies are just so they're just so aggressive and agile in a way that I was never used to with any of the Souls games, not even with Bloodborne. And so at a certain point I just completely fell off of it, which sucks, because they later on they released all this DLC for the first game that seemed so awesome, but I was I'm never gonna see any of that shit, because I'm garbage at that game.
Yeah.
And I would grind for hours at a time, and I would still get my ass handed to me by the first boss. So
I've got the perfect one that Ryan and I have both forgotten. It's a little game called The Evil Within.
Oh man.
That Ryan and I swore that we would not stream anything else until we beat that game.
To be fair, we have not.
We haven't. Over our lifetime, we've beaten many survival horror games.
Yes.
Many survival horror games made by Shinji Mikami.
Yeah.
And we are just terrible at this game.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So I feel like there are some inconsistencies with that game, and I feel like if those were addressed, it would be so much easier. Example.
So it's not the game. It's not you guys. It's the game.
No, it's us. It's us.
Well, I think that Mr. Sebastian or Detective Castellanos has some of the blame here, because I just feel like if he can shatter wooden crates with his fist, why not shatter skulls with his fist?
They're two different materials, man.
Sure. But it's funny because I think we got pretty far in that game, and yep. I think that we are somewhere near the end, and we didn't finish it.
By somewhere near the end, if you mean that we still have a third of that game left to play, you are
dude.
correct.
We did 2/3 already.
Yeah.
That's a big chunk. So,
I mean that's 2 more thirds in the beginning of the game.
Let's not have topics that embarrass me anymore, okay?
My bad. Well, because
I'm sorry. Are we showing that you're human and that you have faults?
Yeah. The faults in our Tom.
Are you sure the sign that you made that nobody could read didn't do that for you?
My signs are awesome. They're awesome, but you guys weren't supposed to bring attention to them.
I didn't say anything, Tom. That was all Shanae. So.
But I mean, you can't read them, so it's gonna have to wait.
Okay. But
they're great signs. It's comedic gold.
I'm looking forward to seeing them. A mother worries.
Yeah, the slave obeys.
I do enjoy all the creativity that people have like made because of this quarantine because they're just bored.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, things like different things in like Animal Crossing, and like, yeah, that probably would have existed already because like people do crazy stuff. Yeah. But it is super fun seeing that people who maybe wouldn't have at the time or done anything what they've been doing. Like someone just made a calendar out of like rocks and the other thing for like when the sun goes around. And like, well, calendar and clock. But anyways, but yeah, I mean that stuff is fun.
Right on.
But yeah, I mean, it kind of brings me like a little bit to the other thing I want to talk about, so we can stop embarrassing Tom about things he's not good at, and that's like communities, because obviously we talked about it last week. Like the community in Animal Crossing right now is huge, and it's super fun to be around a part of something that's so big. Like, not that I necessarily deal with, besides my Atomies, like niche games, but it is fun to be day one, which I rarely am, except for Kingdom Hearts.
Shanae's part of the zeitgeist.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's super
and
fun.
She likes it.
I see all these things that people are making, and then God damn it, guys. And then I've also like still
look at Shanae.
Please continue, Shanae.
Yeah, the Please Continue podcast.
Yeah, I also I've been really like, even though I haven't been playing it, I've still been like keeping up with a lot of the media coming out of the Fire Emblem fan groups. Like somebody
you're not a real fan though, right? Because you're not playing it anymore. So
I mean, I still look at it.
Sure.
That counts.
But yeah, like somebody made a randomizer for all the characters. So all the voice acting is the same, but all the character models like are changed. The stats are changed. Height, classes they can do are all different. So it's been super fun because like I've played it so often, like so many times over, that like I have a lot of the stuff like memorized, and so does the other person, obviously. Right. So he's like, all right, well, who's this character? And it turns out to be just a really funny like pick for that character. And I don't know, it's just super nice that these things exist. It's nice that people like right now can like enjoy the communities, and I just want to talk about communities that y'all have joined. And
well, it's funny, right? Like, I don't feel like playing Animal Crossing makes me feel like part of this community, you know? Like, I really don't. And I'm on social media. I see people posting all this stuff, and I've posted like one Animal Crossing thing, you know, but like I don't feel like I'm part of the community. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I just don't. Like, when I think about gaming communities, I think about groups of people that I actually interact with, you know, not passively interact with. You know, I think about Under Night In-Birth or Splatoon 2. Like, those to me are gaming communities, and both very good ones at that. Splatoon 2, and I think Splatoon in general, but I just never really played the first one. Like, that is the most diverse, welcoming gaming community I've ever seen, man. And like, if you go in there and you talk some shit, you know, if you're a racist or anything like that, fucking homophobe, like, they will jump on your shit and get you banned so fucking fast, you know? Like
you're out of here.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's very refreshing to see. So there's that. And then with Under Night, like I've talked about it on this show before, when I first started playing that game. This is before Under Night was announced for Evo, and you can't find anybody to play with online. And Ryan often talks about not being able to find people for certain fighting games, and that makes him not want to play those fighting games, which I can understand. But my answer has always been like, there's a Discord, and there are people that will play any of these games with you, you know? And Under Night specifically, I think because it's rooted in New York, and I mean, it's not like made in New York, right? But like all the French bred poverty fighting games is like rooted there, and it feels very gritty and underground, and like you do feel like you're part of this fucking club. It's weird, you know? It's a weird thing.
This is Fight Club, virtual Fight Club.
You feel like you're in on something.
Yeah.
You know, like you feel like you get something that, and all these other people are just missing out, and that's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. Other than that, I think at least the PlayStation Network community for Killing Floor 2.
Hell yeah, man.
Killing Floor 2 is a game about killing zombies with metal music and douchey clothes.
Hell yeah.
And you feel like a douche playing it.
Isn't Killing Floor 2 the one that had Jam Jam in it, or that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And like, you know, if you've never played that game and you look at it, you think that the average person playing that is probably an asshole. You know?
Nah.
But you know what I mean, right?
It's funny because like I think about it, and that game definitely, like, that game has like through and through has a very asshole aesthetic.
Yeah,
but it's
right? Like,
it's really great.
From Tripwire Interactive with barbed wire going everywhere, and shit like that.
It's
right?
like metal and
we're gonna ride some fucking motocross, and like it's that kind of attitude, right? And like, but they're totally cool, and they'll help you out, and like they just want to play the game, and it's really cool.
Yeah,
it's really cool. Yeah,
I miss Killing Floor. It's a good ass time.
Yeah, I think it's a good point about like feeling like it's a passive community as well, or not like that you are part of one.
Yeah.
Because I don't necessarily feel like I have to be like I feel like I have to be included on something, but I do really enjoy like I've gone to like an Animal Crossing Discord from Reddit. Like Like I joined these subreddits.
But like I've heard you in the past talk about the games that you played, Sinead, like World of Warcraft, right? Like shit like that, right? Like that's got to feel more like a community than liking some fucking Twitter posts, you know?
I mean, besides this week, I have spent a lot of time like visiting other people's islands and not.
Well, I'm not specifically talking about Animal Crossing, but like just in general.
As far as like that goes, definitely WoW was the most interesting because there's all like the sub communities in like the giant like WoW one, and definitely having to find one that is what I like. I talked about it on the show. Like I've joined like a family guild, and I was like one of the few strangers involved in it. And
hello, stranger.
Yeah, and like things like that were like super nice. Finding those like small niche things, like finding people who would help me out when I was first starting, and then like my friend's mom, and then later like adopting other people. They're like, oh, I just started. Like I don't have anyone to play with, and I'm like. I was like, I got like 17 hours to kill. Let's play, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think with big games like that, right, that have like a massive audience, like GTA 5 or like World of Warcraft, like it is about finding the pocket of that community because there are such shitty people in those greater communities, right? But there are great people playing those games too.
Yeah, like I mean, I've talked before. Like for a couple of years when I played that game, I just said my mic didn't work, so nobody would know I was a girl. Just because I just had bad experiences, like, and so the people that did know I was a girl, like, just didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And I would only talk to them, like, when it was just on a channel with us. So I definitely, like, there's some negatives about being a part of a game community for sure, like
Of course.
1000%. But like yeah, MMOs, I think massive. You gotta find like your niche.
So I don't remember if it was yesterday or the day before. Ryan and I are playing some Street Fighter V,
Hell yeah.
and we're chatting over PSN, and I can hear Kaylee's playing Diablo in the background.
That was last night.
With like, and there's people talking, right? But she doesn't have her headset going, so she is just listening to these people talk that she's playing with. And I can't make out what they're saying, but I can hear them talking quite a bit. And Ryan says something like, "Are you having fun playing with your friends?" And I just hear her like muffled, like, "No." It was really funny. Like, and I was like, "Just tell her to mute them." And she was like, "Oh yeah." Mute them. But it's so fucking funny, man.
So I had a few that like really like that made me really really feel welcome. The Mortal Kombat 11 community is really awesome. I feel like I've run into so many people who were like they're just like like with any competitive video game, like you can run into a lot of people who are just like real shitty and like just assholes about it. But like everybody that I've ever talked to in the Mortal Kombat 11 community has been really cool and like has been really all about like giving people pointers and helping out, and that's been really cool. And that's probably like one of my favorite parts about playing that game. And of course, and also like last year I briefly played Vermintide 2, and that game every time I got into a game with anybody, like everybody was just like super helpful. And because like a lot of times with like games like that where everybody knows the routes and they know all the objectives and they're just trying to grind for gear and shit like that, people can be like really shitty about like where the fuck are you going? You're supposed to be going over here, do this thing. But like everybody that I've ever run into with that game has always been like really helpful and teaching you how to like play certain encounters or how to get through a certain map. And that's been really awesome because like with games like that, I can sometimes feel like kind of put off by playing them online, or not necessarily playing them online, but like talking to people while playing them online, because people can be real shitty about it.
I stopped playing Warhammer 40k for that very reason. Every time I went online, everyone was shithead to me. I was like, "Fuck it,
Yeah.
I don't want to play this game."
Now
I've never stopped playing a game because of that. Like I've just muted people.
Yeah.
You know.
Now
it was like it was like every time I went on, and at that point, I was playing it. I was like trying to do more on my mic, and it was just trash. Like people already talking shit to me because like I don't know what I'm doing and I'm trying to figure it out, and then add the girl on there. It's just like, let's just pile insults.
Yeah.
Well, you are a girl, so
Yeah.
I mean,
losers.
You know what was really good, and like I've got friends from around the world that I still talk to from this game.
What's that?
The Xbox 360 version of Uno.
Oh hell yeah,
fucking
dude!
Badass.
Yeah.
And like, I don't talk to anybody from Killing Floor other than in Splatoon. I don't talk to anybody from Splatoon.
Right.
But I still talk to people that I met playing Uno on Xbox 360.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me, game communities
Are real
are
horny.
trash.
I imagine
A lot
they're
of them are
real horny.
trash.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, it's horny. Like, definitely there's a lot of horny. Like, don't get me wrong.
It is
Yeah,
real
horny.
horny in here.
Oh,
But,
man.
like, it's just.
I'm gonna find
really...
some Otome discords. Y'all are
like,
horny.
A lot of them are just really hard to have like actual conversations because like
Sure.
either people are like super critical of the game, where
Yeah.
it's like,
They're just horny.
I'm like, is this the game that you really want to like pick apart? And then, or people who like, oh, you don't think the person I think is hot is hot? Fuck you! Like,
That's
you don't get
really
to play my
weird.
game. You don't get to play my game. And it's just like, no, you have your favorite. Like, I'll have my favorite, or I'll just enjoy all of the routes. It's fine. Like you.
My very brief, me and Tom's very brief experience with the Them's Fighting Herds community showed me that at least part of them is real horny.
I don't think that that's fair to say. I think that's just random people.
I was making a joke, Tom, but there was one though that like I don't play it as heavily anymore, just because I don't know, I just don't. But I had joined a very active like a very active Elite Dangerous group about maybe 3 years ago, and they were very aptly called the Elite Dangerous Community. That was the name of the group. But it was really cool because it was just a group of people who were just like posting, like they were like showing off pictures of like where they'd been or like what they were up to, but they're also like talking, like you could also talking to they would talk to you about like how to get the optimal setup for your ship and like routes to go for trading and stuff like that. And it was just really cool to like have people to talk to about that game that I don't know anybody who plays that game, nor do I know anybody who has an interest in playing that game. And it was just it's a really neat thing because like
It's very elite.
yeah, it's a very elite,
Dangerous.
that's a
Dangerously elite.
dangerous club that I was part of. I still consider myself to be elite and dangerous, but no, it was neat. And you know, one of the things I like about all of these communities though is I find that when I'm really into a game, like having people to talk to about that game makes it more fun to me. It kind of just adds to the experience for me. And that was a really huge thing because like it was neat being able to talk to people about this like super like niche kind of space simulator game that you know that I really enjoyed. And I don't know, and it's cool. It's funny because like I don't actively play that game the way that I did then, but like I'm still in that group, and I'll still talk to people in the group about like what they're up to and like the new developments with the game and everything. And most people have been really cool. I only ever met one jerk, but you know, I like when, you know, like really niche games like that have a nice community because like it sucks trying to find a community for like a game like that and have them all just be like assholes about it. And I could very much see how like people could be assholes about that game. So I don't know. That was probably one of my favorite communities that I ever joined. But
Yeah. No, you love that game, and it's like always good to have that. Like, whenever I was trying to find something besides WoW to play that was an MMO, like I played Ion for a hot minute, specifically because I came across some people who spoke English because a lot of them were in Russian, and then
no.
and then also like were teaching me like tips and tricks on it. So, and I like it is just it's nice. It's nice to have somebody that's like, let me lift you up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Does it count
Also,
like?
side note about Atemi games? I just want to find a group of other women or men who play that and then discuss the qualities of our husband and wifos, and if we think they're good for the main character, and then the dialogue options, and just actual conversation about it.
I feel like I can do that. I can do that for you, Shanae. I'll read the games.
Okay.
Those games are some good reading.
I'll send you some.
Does okay, so like what about, I don't know if this counts or not, but I've been recently, over like the past month or so, talking to several different fight stick discords. And like those communities are pretty garbage.
Like,
Why so garbage?
It's not. They're not like bad people, but it's like they all have a reason as to why their thing is the best thing. You know, what they're doing is the best thing. The buttons they use are the best. The PCB they use are the best, and it's like it's all a matter. Like really, it's all a matter of opinion. All of it is subjective. You know, it's very very funny.
No, their buttons move the fastest. They're aerodynamic.
I mean, sure, that might be the case, but like, they're helpful. I'll give them that, right? Like, if you have a question, they're more than happy to assist you. But it's just very annoying community of people. Jason's Customs, link below.
yeah.
But,
He's the least annoying.
yeah, no, he's cool. He seems cool. But, yeah.
Are his buttons aerodynamic? Does that make him the fastest?
Well, let's not get into that. But but yeah, so that's been kind of funny. And then also like just modding in general. You know, I recently modded that Dreamcast. I'm currently thinking, and this is a whole nother community that just this week I'm getting into, is like arcade cabinets, right? And I'm thinking of either purchasing or making my own, and like getting into that, like just, you know, searching for information. You start talking to these people.
What would you want to make your arcade cabinet of? Like with what games or like system as the main one?
Well, I want to do like a Naomi type of cabinet, which is like basically Dreamcast stuff. But yeah, it's just interesting talking to those people because like I don't know much about that stuff, right? I know a little bit, but like
surface
not
level,
much, right? So that's been interesting. But yeah, that's really it. I feel like whenever I find a new interest, I try to seek out these groups of people, if for nothing else than just for help, you know.
Or to judge them and like, is this a trash community? Because I'm not trash.
You know. Well, speaking of trash communities, I'll show you what one of my signs was.
Oh yeah. Can't wait for that one.
Yeah, that was one of them.
Oh my god. No desire to play that game.
I don't know why that's relevant.
I think it's always relevant. I mean, when you think about it.
Well, so all of my signs were just different video game truths. So.
Yeah.
All right, I'm excited. I'm excited about your truths, and when you can speak them in a sign form.
Sure. I was just gonna like slap one up every 5 to 10 minutes or something. But yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I definitely out of like the two that I'm like mainly into right now, which is like Animal Crossing and Fire Emblem. I think Fire Emblem's more passive just because I'm looking at the media that's coming out of there. Like a lot of people have been doing like fan art and fan videos.
Oh hell yeah!
Super fun. I really like because I was confused on how some of the stats really worked with some of these classes. So I went on there for whenever I do go back because like I am still pretty early on in my 4th playthrough. So I'm like, hey, with all these like special ones, like, because a lot of it's just like preference. I'm like, all right, well, I don't know what these like growth rates mean, or these like, and I'm getting these other crests and I'm just putting them on things, hoping they do something, but I'm not really fully understanding it. So I've been doing that, where people have been like, you know, responding to there on like message boards and forums, but like I've definitely been like talking to other people who play Animal Crossing, like as far as my friends, like I've reconnected with some people. Because I haven't talked to them in forever, because like one of us moved and now we play Animal Crossing again, like together. So it's been super fun as far as like old coworkers, and I don't know, the two that I'm in I'm pretty happy about, like, or the two that I'm like I guess active or like looking at right now.
Oh, I want to shout out 2 more before we stop here, before I forget, which is like kind of corny, but like our Discord people are really nice people.
Yeah.
I like them a lot. And our Instagram people are really nice people. And like, They send me shit sometimes, and that's really nice. And it's just like, it's fun. It's fun talking to these people. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of garbage Instagram people, but for the most part,
and some are robots.
For the most,
and they're still garbage.
Well, we had a sex bot in our Discord once.
Yeah.
I remember that.
That thing was so horny.
She was playing too many Otomis.
Otome games.
But yeah, you know, for the most part, most of the those people are just really nice people, and like, what's funny is like some of them we've been talking to for years now.
Yeah.
You know, and like some of them I'll play games with, or have played games with. And like some of them have bought me things, and I've bought some of them things.
Yeah.
And like I don't know these people really, you know. But
some of them have made really, really fun screenshots of me doing stupid shit during the podcast.
Yeah, right. And, like,
and I love that.
You know, I know it's not like they're not exactly gaming communities, but like I play games with some of them.
I beat one of them at Street Fighter a bunch of times. So
yeah.
Quit talking shit. Sandy's not the one who talks shit.
I didn't say his name.
He said one of them.
I didn't say Sandy.
Last week you talked about
that wasn't me.
About beating Sandy.
That wasn't me. So I have the only tape. So.
I just about told Sandy right now on video to go wash his pussy, but
Tom, you can't say that.
You can't?
No, you can't say that. I gotta.
Why?
We gotta. YouTube's gonna shut us down if we say that.
No, you're allowed to say that.
All right.
Yeah.
As long as you
say it again.
As long as you don't monetize.
Sure.
You can say all the pussies you want.
Yeah, go wash your pussy, Tom.
Yeah. My pussy stinks. So.
Yeah, it's been a problem for years.
Yikes! Yeah. Yikes! Y'all are. Y'all are great.
Yeah. Anything you want to give a shout out to, or anything that you before we end it, Brian?
If you're listening, if you at home,
stop it.
Don't ruin our community.
Yeah. No. If you're listening, play Street Fighter with me. I'd really like that. I'm not gonna say your name, but you know who you are. So come play Street Fighter with me. Okay.
Andy, you don't deserve this.
Stop. Well, oh my god. But I mean, not just Andy, but like anybody. I want people to play it with. More people.
Kyle.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Kyle. Oh well, he's got bad internet, so I don't know if that's gonna happen, but we'll see.
Yeah, if you wanna let us know on any of our social media or Discord channel, links are below. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Let us know about games that you quit because it's too hard, or communities you think we should check out because they're really nice and they're helping you out whenever you're bored.
I think it's important that in this current situation that you wash your pussy.
And your hands.
Is that your new thing now, Tom?
Yeah, that's my new sign off.
Yeah, make sure at least 20 seconds. Sing the entire Happy Birthday song twice.
Yeah.
Really good.
You guys are
bye,
funny.
guys.
Bye, guys.